Hello everyone, and welcome back to Adaptation, the vlog for film and book lovers. I'm Jessica Dunn, and this week, we kind of have quotes on the brain. Kendo's video from last week about the iconically quotable Casablanca has kind of got the rest of our hosts inspired to take part and list some of the lesser appreciated quotes from some of our favorite adaptations. I gotta warn you though, some of these quotes aren't quite as timeless as, frankly my dear, I don't give a damn. But hopefully you'll see the reasoning behind most of these choices once we go through them. We not only tried to pick truly awesome quotes, but also ones that just seem to stick with us for some reason or another. And as a bonus, we especially tried to highlight those quotes that didn't feature quite as prominently in the book, or where the genius of the delivery elevated it from the moment it was in the original. So without further ado, the first movie featured on this list is a classic to rival Casablanca, The Wizard of Oz. Before you ask, no, we did not choose "There's no place like home" as our most remembered quote from this script. Come on, that's too easy. Here at Adaptation, we appreciate the lesser repeated wisdom. Some people without brains do an awful lot of talking. So maybe this quote doesn't have any direct relation to the plot, other than the fact that it's spoken by the appropriately brainless scarecrow. But there's no hiding the real reason we appreciate it. For nothing less than the scarecrow's biting, sassy honesty. It's one of those lines that make you giggle at first, but then just sit back and, yeah. The next quote on our list is kind of self-explanatory, and in fact has been featured in one of our vlogs before, from the script of Ever After. "And while Cinderella and her prince did live happily ever after, the point, gentlemen, is that they lived." It does not take much imagination to realize why this quote made it to the list, or indeed why it's so central to the plot, because that was the major selling point of this movie, that they took a fairy tale with magic and such and made it into a historically viable story. Therefore, this reminder of its importance always gave shivers down my spine, and that's why it belongs on this list. Changing it up a little bit, from poignant to just plain funny. Our next quote, well, we'll let you figure it out. From Tale of the Princess Kaguya, a swoon-worthy pickup line taken straight from the Emperor's mouth. Get ready for this. "I'll burn you into my eyes and leave." The context of this one is when the Emperor joins the throng of suitors who are trying to woo the hand of Princess Kaguya, she manages to give him the slip and, disappears. And so in order to make her reappear, he promises her, yeah, this. Talk about your creepers. But our host Jennifer thought that this quote warranted a mention. Well, just because it left her in stitches. I guess that goes to show us sometimes the quotes we remember aren't always because they inspire us. The next film on our list is another one that has so many lines that it was hard for me to choose one quote. The Princess Bride. Go ahead, give it a shot. I dare you to pick just one. We could do "as you wish," or "you keep using that word. I do not think it means what you think it means," or "My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die." Or any of the other several dozen quotes that feature prominently in this movie and that have been quoted for decades now. But you know which one I chose? I bet it didn't come to your mind. It's a quote said by the grandfather in a voiceover as he's reading the story to his grandson, and all it was, "Yes, you're very smart. Now shut up." And this may need a little bit of explanation, but I really appreciated this quote merely because not only did it keep coming back to the fact that this was a story being read aloud and enjoyed by two family members, but also it just reminds you not to overthink it. Sometimes you just gotta shut up and enjoy it. And our fifth and final quote from the list, I don't think it needs much explanation either. It features in the film version of The Last Unicorn from the 1982 animated version. And this is a quote from Schmendrick the Wizard. "There are no happy endings, because nothing ends." Goosebumps, right? Especially, again, featuring so poignantly in a fantasy, where you love the idea that this wonderful world just doesn't end. That even though the story might come to an ending, that it keeps going on past the pages and past the screen. As pretty a sentiment as it is, that last quote isn't quite true. as some things do end. This vlog, for one thing. We do not have enough space or time to even put a dent in the list of memorable quotes we could take from book adaptations. But you know where there is enough space? In the comments section. So don't be shy. Type away and leave your impressions of which memorable quotes have particularly inspired you from these or any other adaptations. And if you liked what we have to say, there's more where that came from. Check out the links to our blog, Facebook, Twitter, and Tumblr pages. And don't forget to listen to our dulcet tones through our podcast on iTunes. And of course, there's a subscribe button down there for a reason. Make use of it. Thanks for tuning into Adaptation. Hope to see you next week, and until then, here's looking at you, kid. I kind of wish I hadn't said that, actually.